Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to episode 3 of Road to Alpha Tribe. This is a series where I've been playing on an extinction server with some friends of mine, and the objective is basically to be one of, if not the most powerful tribe on the server. See what it's like being the big boys on there. We've all been on official servers. There's that one tribe who just always is, more dominant than the others. This is my kind of test to see if I could do that with some friends. So we're playing on an extinction server. I think we're about a week in at this point, and I'm going to show you some highlights of what we've been up to, as well as give you a little bit of a rundown of the dynamic between the biggest tribes on the server. So what you're seeing here at this beginning footage is the Battle QUETZ in action. This is the first real appearance of the Battle QUETZ, and once you get to this stage, you can get a QUETZ with a platform saddle and some turrets. It does make things a lot easier. It makes things a lot less dangerous. Basically, I saw this little base here on the northeast mountain. It was a metal base surrounded by some stone behemoth gates, and the only real problem we saw is there was like a parasar outside. That's going to have an interesting story because that parasar actually turned out to be not from the tribe whose base this was, but another tribe who was trying to raid this base. So what had happened here, another enemy tribe had tried to raid this base, which wasn't theirs, and then we came along and tried to raid it at the same time. However, we bought a Battle QUETZ, they bought a parasar, and pretty much we just scared them off. My man here, Joe, who's actually Ben from the Bearded Guys, is doing the rocket launcher in. I'm being the lookout and riding the Battle QUETZ, and we basically just used rockets on this one. We didn't need to drain any turrets or anything like that, so we just rocketed in, found those guys in there. We managed to get some decent stuff. As you can see from what's being loaded into the QUETZ here, a decent amount of stuff gathered from this raid, well worth doing, and just some good luck on our behalf. Now, interesting thing about this server is that it seems like all the big tribes have kind of taken each other out. There's only 2 real big tribes left other than us. There was like 4 or 5, however, they've kind of battled each other and wiped each other out and left us to our own thing. I think one of the main reasons for that is because we actually had really strong defenses, and we always have done, playing the long game. So here you can see I'm flying around on my Argent, and what's happened here is we had reports that actually a level 100 plus wild QUETZ was trying to be tamed, and not only was it trying to be tamed, but it was trying to be tamed over our base. So we came out, we all had Argents, Pteranodons, whatever, and see if we could stop them doing this. So the first thing that we tried to do, we just went up there, tried to pick a few people. I managed to pick one of the dudes off of one of the birds, and I fed him to the turrets. We killed some of their birds, they killed a few of ours, especially our Pteranodons. And I don't think my bird that I got here actually got killed. And as you can see as well, we've bought our QUETZ with a QUETZ catcher on it. So we've got a QUETZ, I think we've got 3 QUETZs now at the point in this video. And we brought out the one with the QUETZ catcher on. We thought, you know what, let's tame this for ourselves. I know these guys are trying to tame it, but let's get it in the QUETZ catcher. Let's get it knocked out within our turrets. And then we can actually have this level 100 plus QUETZ. And this is a big deal, guys. I mean, these servers, these official PvP servers, it's all about high-level QUETZs, high-level tames, lots of turrets, all that stuff. So not only did we not want them to get this, but they didn't want us to get this either. And you can see here, I'm trying to catch the QUETZ in the QUETZ catcher. We managed to get it in, but they just kept harassing us. They kept barrel rolling the QUETZ. Our QUETZ catcher was only made out of thatch, so they would have actually destroyed that QUETZ catcher. So this was basically just a giant mess in the end. So the QUETZ catcher thing wasn't working, so we decided to bring out our first real main appearance other than that raid for the Battle QUETZ. Here you can see we brought out the Battle QUETZ. It's around level 70. It's got about 10k health. Not incredible, but bearing in mind it was only level 20 when we tamed it. We put in the hard work to try and level it up, and we managed to get its levels all the way up to 70, over 10k health, and it's actually done a great job for us. Here you can see it taking on the enemy Battle QUETZ. They seem to have one as well. Now they went for the interesting tactic of having a ramp on the back or on the front, even to try and protect it from the front, I guess. Whereas we went more out with like total turret protection, and I think that our Battle QUETZ was going to win this one. I'm not sure exactly what level their Battle QUETZ was here, but it seemed to not be enjoying that. You can see we've got, what is it, 8 plant species on here, as well as 6 auto turrets. And the key here was I was just trying to stay low. As long as I could stay low and beneath their QUETZ, then I would be able to hit it, and I'll be able to do a lot of damage to it. So you can hear this was really epic at this point. Like, my QUETZ Quetzal's losing health, their Quetzal is losing health. Like, I don't really like the way that official servers turn into kind of Quetzal warfare, because Quetzal is a bit OP in my opinion, especially once you get turrets on them. Whatever, it gets a little bit ridiculous like this is, but I guess it mixes it up a bit. And the great thing about having our battle quets is knowing that you cannot get picked off of it. We've enclosed ourselves in a way that we can't get picked off of this quets. And here you can see it was getting really intense here. I wasn't sure exactly how low the other Quetzal's health was, but our Quetzal was on half health, so about 5k health, and I was just going for it. I thought, you know what, we're right next to our base, let's just go for it, let's just battle it out, see whose Quetzal lasts the longest. And I think they got scared in the end. In the end, they backed off. I had about 3 or 4k health left on my Quetzal. I had to go get some stamina. We actually still had some decent stuff inside the Quetzal as well. Did a little bit of healing with it while it regained its stamina. And then unfortunately, by the time the other Quetzal had gone off, I had trouble finding it. You'll see here, I'm trying to follow it. The stun effects from the plant species had just run off. And they did the smart thing, which was then they went off into the trees and managed to hide. So that was pretty intense. We nearly lost our battle Quetzal. They nearly lost theirs. It was all based around trying to tame another Quetzal. That level 100 plus was the whole reason that all of this happened. But like I say, they are super important. Now, I know a lot of this PvP is kind of with tames and stuff, and some of it seems a bit like, I don't know, as you're going to see, the next thing that I'm going to show you is the kind of revenge that we decided to take on these guys. So, these guys obviously killed a lot of our tames in this battle. They'd killed our tames before. They'd actually killed all kinds of stuff that we were trying to tame in some of our members. So, what we decided to do was go check out their base, see how well protected their stuff is. Is all their stuff in the pens? And then we actually managed to find one of their battle Quetzals out in the open. So we went over there with our battle Quetzal. I got the fabricated sniper rifle and did what of course you need to do, which is try and kill their Quetzal. Unfortunately, for them, they weren't online at the time, and I know it's a bit disappointing that sometimes you see this kind of stuff and it's more like offline stuff, but that's just really how it works on official servers. You can't just work around other people's schedules, and not only that, but other people will not show you mercy, so you have to take any opportunity you can to kill their stuff, whether it's cheap, whether it's low, or whatever it is. You've got to just go for it. And we saw an opportunity here to take down one of their Quetzals, and of course we're going to do it, because this game, it's not even, when you play official PvP, it's almost like there's kind of a lot of PvP, but what this game really is, it's more of a territory kind of game rather than a PvP style game. So obviously in a first person shooter or something like that, it's all just about getting kills, whereas in this game it's all about territory and tame and getting lots of guns. Almost think of the guns like tools and weapons, because the dinos kind of do act like weapons, so it's almost like a base kind of territory game, as much as it is obviously you get the PvP in there as well. So obviously we went and killed that Quetzal. The next stage was to try and do more damage to them. So what we decided to do is get our 2 Quetzals. We've got Farmer Joe here and Cheap Reborn. Obviously Cheap, the original, was killed. Can't remember exactly by who, but by someone. So we named one of our Quetzals Cheap Reborn. And all you're seeing here is the classic, just draining the turrets with the turtles so that we can fire RPGs. Obviously I've got the plant species there as well. The plant species aren't a massive problem. You can fire rockets and the plant species won't do anything, but most of the tribes on this server, they have turrets, but they really haven't filled them up enough. We managed to drain the turrets using that. So we spotted a Giga. We've got obviously great level turtles, so they can soak these turrets, but we spotted their Giga, and we were just trying to figure out how can we get into here. We did actually have to spend quite a lot of rockets. They did a smart thing of actually doing a kind of double layer on this pen, so we broke through a wall, and then we couldn't actually get to the Giga because it was on the layer below. So that was kind of smart by them. However, we did have a lot of rockets, and we really wanted to get this Giga killed. We didn't have a Giga here at this point, so we wanted to get this Giga killed, stop it being a massive threat, and basically set them back as much as they can, as much as we can even, so they can be, they can't be as strong as they would be if they had all their Quetzals and their tames and so on. So here's a mission, try and get the Giga. I've managed to eventually break into this Giga pen, and then the cool bit is going to be what's coming up. This was kind of smart. I was trying to figure out how can I get down towards that pen without wasting all of my rockets on the plant species. So what I decided to do, be a little bit James Bond-like, we managed to find a nice little spot where I wouldn't get shot by the turrets. And funnily enough, I managed to use the Giga against them. So as you can see here, the turrets are starting to shoot at me. I managed to drop down, then the Giga's head blocks the turret, and then after that it's a case of a grappling in, James Bond style. Absolutely loving the grapple hook. It's such a cool addition. So you just hit that, then you can just obviously reel yourself in, and the plant turrets don't hit you because you're moving too fast. And now I'm in here with a passive Giga and their passive Rex as well. So once I was down here, actually I still had a bit of a problem because I only had one sword and a bit of shotgun ammo, and obviously Gigas have at least 30k health once they're tamed, and it was going to take me a long time. So I start smashing away at this thing. I managed to get it down eventually with a combination. My friend came and bought some more pikes and whatever. The shotgun that I've got absolutely ripped through this thing. I don't know if you saw in the previous video, but I've got an apprentice shotgun. It does 160% damage, and that absolutely wrecked the Giga when it was up close. So we managed to destroy their Giga. Job done, good effort there by the guys. And then also they had a high level T-Rex here, like 170 or 180, something like that. My buddy Ben come and brought us some pikes, and then we managed to get rid of that thing as well. So once we got to this stage, obviously we're feeling a little bit better about things. We've managed to set them back a little bit, and we made a really cool grand entrance. Ben on the Pteranodon, I grapple to it, and then off he goes, travelling off into the distance with me in tow. This is probably one of the coolest ways to get across the map, and I suggest that you guys do it as well whenever you can, because it looks super cool. So the next thing that I've got to show you actually is where we found some QUETZs on the island. Obviously QUETZs are such a big thing that if we see any QUETZs, we want to try and get rid of them. We actually saw some dude mining on Obsidian Mountain with 2 QUETZs. So what we did is we brought Cheap. Now I don't know why Cheap, some of his turrets have actually disappeared on the left hand side there, but watch carefully what happened there, and this actually made me do a redesign of my battle QUETZ. Their QUETZ attacked mine, and it shut down the turrets by hitting the electricity box. Now you can see on the side there I've actually got doors without doors on, so that I can get to those plant species. So what I've actually changed, and I'll show you in the next episode when I do another base showcase, and I'll show you what's going with that, is now I've changed those to walled, and I've completely encased all of the QUETZs, so that can't happen again, because obviously in a worse situation that could have come off a lot worse. Now I don't know what this guy is doing, like traveling with 2 QUETZs solo. They don't have platforms, they can't be boxed in. Really bad move. QUETZs are so important on official servers, a huge part of the game, and obviously as soon as we see any, they are pretty much the biggest threat. I mean, Gigas are a threat as well, but you can rage Gigas, but QUETZs obviously they just fly off, and once you get platform saddles on them, like you can see here, they're just like flying platforms of death. So when you play on a PvP server, it is almost like race to platform saddle QUETZ. That's more what it is, because once you get that, then you can go and raid a lot easier, a lot safer. Also, build smart, guys. One of the reasons we've been able to become, I would say we are now the strongest tribe on this server, because we have done even more stuff on this that I'll be showing you in the next episode. But one of the main reasons we've been able to do this, we worked quick, we worked fast, we built safe. We built in a way so that we kept everything as safe as possible. You don't build big, you build smart and safe. And a lot of other people, like still like a week in, some people have got their stuff in stone pens, some people have just got stone bases, and they don't have enough bullets in their turrets, all that kind of stuff. If you start small and just manage to get that sorted, then you can expand from there. But anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. Just showing you some of the highlights of what we've been up to. We're doing really well in terms of being one of the alpha tribes. We've managed to do a lot of damage to a lot of tribes, and that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button if you did. We've got some more stuff to show you in the next episode. I'll do a new kind of base showcase. We've got loads of new stuff, but that's it for today. I'll see you all next time.